Hello everyone and welcome back to Short Circuits. Today we're going to be looking at something special, new, different, something I've never had a chance to get my hands on before. Um, but something that I'm really interested in. I was online perusing, doing as you do, looking for fun stuff to pick up and maybe check out and buy, and I came across what I thought was a really okay deal on this, which is, of course, if I can straighten it out in the video there for you. It's a Timex Sinclair 1000. And the Timex Sinclair 1000 is, of course, the American version of the Sinclair ZX81, or ZX81 if you're from North America. And I picked this up, and it wasn't just this by itself. I picked up a whole slew of Timex things, which I'm going to go through some of them in this video, and then I have some other stuff I'm going to have to save for another video because there's actually quite a lot of it. Yeah, I'm trying to compare like what is quite a lot versus what is not, but I'll say there's quite a lot of it for a video. I don't know if there's quite a lot of it for the price because unlike Europe where the ZX81 was like the machine to have, Timex bringing it over to the United States basically threw it in with the Commodore and the Apple and Atari and everything else, and so it just kind of got mixed up in there. And so it is one of those ones that people mention, but it's not one of those ones everyone's scrambling to get their hands on. So the value of them is really dependent on whether you're a collector or you're nostalgic or you're an idiot. And I think I might be more the idiot because I paid about $100 for the whole collection, which in my mind, just because of what I got out of it, wasn't bad. But as you can see, sort of can see, if I can tilt this back a little bit, maybe you can see better. It's very dirty. It's very dirty. If we flip it over, the bottom is missing 3 out of the 4 feet. And I think there's a couple of screws missing. This is actually one of 2 of these I got in this bundle. The other one is in slightly worse condition than this because this one has enough screws in it to where it's staying together. The other one, when you pick it up, it tries its damnedest to literally fall into 2 pieces. I haven't had a chance to open either of these up or look at them or really check them out. So what I'd like is what I'd like to do first is just clean it because it's dirty, and it seems like it's really interesting that this might be a restoration video of sorts because I don't know if it works. I don't know if it runs. The gentleman I bought in front of him, I literally asked, I said, hey, does this, I don't care because the price you're giving me isn't horrible and I can probably fix it, but do they run? He said, well, I don't have a TV to plug them into, which I completely understand because they require an RF signal and some TVs now don't have those at all. He said, but the light came on and okay. Same as with the Sinclairs, there is the 1000, there is no light. There's a light on one of the other things I got in this, so I'm having to trust him. But we're going to start with this, and we're going to start with a little bit of Windex and a rag, because that seems to me like the best option to start with is just a Windex, a rag and some Windex, and we'll see how much of this is dirt and how much of it is scratches and whether or not it cleans up nice. All right, so there it is, nice and nice and clean, top and bottom. probably going to get some replacement feet because it's just got the 1 foots. And if nothing else, I could probably just pull that 1 foots off and it'd be fine, because now, as of right now, it's very wobbly. But we'll go ahead and do that. Now, I do need to test this. I have a power cord. I have a makeshift cable I made for my Commodore that goes from this RF jack here. Yeah, with my fingers on this RF jack here to a TV, because it uses an RCA cable to an RF jack. I actually made one, so it should work without a problem. Hooray. But we're going to set that aside for the moment, because that's nice and clean. And we're going to take a look at a couple other things. One of those other things we're going to take a look at, I'm actually going to pull out this one first, because I just noticed that it's broken. So this is a 16K RAM expansion for the Timex Sinclair, and this is actually for the Sinclair, because it's a Timex Sinclair 1016, and if I bring this down, you can it's kind of still out of focus. It's a 1016, so that's basically a 1000 plus 16K is 1016, which is funny because the 1000 is like 1K, 16K on top of that, except this is not 1016K. I don't know who decided that was the way to advertise this, but that is. But if you check down here, you can see it. The pins are bent, and the pins are bent because the clip is, actually you can kind of move that one. The clip is broken. Somebody went a little ham with this whole bottom, yeah. Whole bottom piece is gone. Somebody went a little ham on this one, and it is no longer, well, it probably functions, but in that way that you don't want it to function. So this one's probably broken, and I'm going to forego cleaning it for now, because it's just a waste of time to clean something that's broken. But luckily for me, I got spares. These aren't even all the spares I have. I actually have another one of these, the actual Timex Sinclair modules, in its original box, in another box. So I do have another one of these. I'll probably dig it out and see. I didn't dig it out because I figured that 3 was enough until I noticed that one was broken. Now these are actual Sinclair ZX. So there's Sinclair ZX 16K RAM expansions. Oddly enough, they are ZX USA. So I don't know what the advertising difference between these two are, but these are Sinclair ZX 16K RAM expansions, and this expansions, excuse me, and this is a Timex Sinclair 1016. So I don't know, like this is Timex Computer Corporation, made in Portugal. That's where that one was made. And then these two were model number ZX USA 16K. It says Sinclair down here, and then made in England. Yeah, made in England. So these are actual British-made Sinclair RAM expansions for the USA version of the Sinclair. This says 1B B-side 23B. I don't know. Oh yeah, here we go. 1A A-side. Is that the way? Like this one doesn't have that sticker on there. So I'm wondering if someone was trying to put this in upside down. Maybe that's how the other one got broken. But there's this piece of very old strip tape here, which I'm going to pull off and ew. Huh. That's interesting. So this one, I'm wondering if the person who owned this before me was some... Oh, there it is. I found out why the tape was there. I'm curious to know if the person who owned this before me might have been some kind of fiddler, fixer, or maker, because it has like I have the other Sinclair, which is or the other 1000, which oddly enough is it's open, it's missing screws. I have one broken 16K RAM expansion. I have this 16K RAM expansion, which isn't broken per se, but it's not screwed together properly. Like he unplugged it or unscrewed it and then put the screws in wrong. Yeah, he just never bothered to screw this in properly because it's threaded just fine, I think. Or he stripped the crap out of it. Okay. So yeah, it's popping and clicking as I try to screw it in. So yeah. So he pulled this one apart and then it stripped out. That's interesting. So I wonder if I have some kind of weirdly modified I'm just gonna call it a ZX1000 just to piss everybody off, because I'm tired of trying to figure out whether it's a Sinclair or a Timex. But worst case scenario, let's at least give this little guy a scrub. We'll do that part. at minimum, we'll get from a tiny scrub. There we go. 16K of RAM, ready to go. Alright. Now we do have one other thing we have to take a look at. This one's a bit bigger, I may have to adjust the camera slightly. That is the Timex Sinclair 2040, which is a printer. I only have one of these. And I don't know if it works. I'm fairly certain this uses thermal printing. So it uses thermal paper, if this yellowing up here is any indication, but there is a tiniest bit of paper left in here. I haven't opened this or looked at it at all. It looks like it's the roller. It's not even attached to anything. It's just in the case. So it just feeds through. So I have no idea how to make this thing work. And I don't know if it uses its own power supply. And I say that because back here in the back, I have a pin. And that's it. It doesn't say volts or DC or anything else, but I do have this edge connector here. Well, female portion of an edge connector, which looks like it goes into the connection port. And again, I don't know why my focus is so bad. I'm going to do autofocus and then apologize that it's going to adjust every 38 seconds while I clean this thing. But we're going to go ahead and give it a little bit of a clean. So I'm going to try to keep the camera as close as possible, because why not? And we'll start in the far corner and make little circles and see what happens. Maybe my camera is a little bit too close. What the hell is this? Is that what I... Oh, I found one of the other feet. This is... And it's not a foot for this, because this uses round feet. This is a... Well, I mean, if nothing else, just... It's not going to stay, but hey, we got another foot. Now it'll just be... It won't work, but it won't be as flippity floppity either. It won't be as floppy. Wasn't really a big requirement, but there you go. One Timex Sinclair 2040 printer cleaned. Okay, so this is about as good as I can get the video to look. It's going to look like hot garbage because it's zoomed way in, and I don't have enough light in the room for the camera to stop trying to compensate for the fact that there's no light in the room. Now with that, I don't have a way to capture both the screen and the Timex. I guess I kind of can, but it's going to look horrendous to you guys. Oh, look, more sticky stuff on the back here. There you go. Okay, so this thing blows up in my hand. It's going to be like way out of focus. I apologize. So this is the cable. Looks like a 3.5 millimeter ear jack. It's currently plugged into the floorboard, which means if I plug this in, power is going through this thing. If it pops and zaps, I'm going to scream, fly backwards, and drop this thing on my desk. So here we go. Okay. Power is in. Looks like something's trying to happen. I have this thing on channel 3. Well, no pop, no zap. No funny smell. Oh, whoa. Oh, did I see a thing there? I just flipped it over, something happened. Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. Hey, little buddy. Okay, cool. Um, all right. Well, oh, so now it wants to stay. So it looks like the issue here is out of focus again. I apologize, but if you look, push up, it goes dead. Down, I got power. So it's a bad connector. It's just a bad connection. When I set it down here, it looked like it wanted to work for a minute. I probably shouldn't be powering on, adding power and removing power. Okay, and can I type anything? I just have a big ol' K on my screen, so I can't type anything. Big ol' K. Sounds like that's an issue error thing, but it powers on and it doesn't go poofy. That's a start. I don't know what the K means. I don't have the manual for this, so let me do a little bit of research and find out what my K means. Okay, fun fact. So it looks like the screen that we were seeing with the K in the bottom left-hand corner is actually the boot up screen for the Timex Sinclair. K, bottom left-hand corner of the screen. However, as you saw, and well, I saw, but you guys didn't see, because I pressed some of these buttons and nothing happened. You're supposed to be able to press print and stuff's happened, or just any of these buttons and something should happen. Nothing happened, which basically means the membrane on that one's probably dead. Luckily for me, I got a second one. This one came in its original box, or a original box. I have 2 Timex Sinclairs. I only have 1 original box, so that says something to me. But because of that, I actually have a spare. So I just wanted to show off that box, honestly. It's falling apart, as are all things from... Whoops. As are all things from the 80s. And... like me, yeah. And there she be. So there's the other one. This one isn't cleaned, hasn't been cleaned. It's got its own power cable. It's actually got, I don't know what all was supposed to come in here. If there was a manual, it doesn't have one, but it's got an RF modulator in here. I haven't seen one of these in ages, but it has one right here. Computer, TV. This one's in really nice condition too. So if I ever find a TV with an antenna block on it, needs an RF module. And by the way, if you're wondering why like the Sinclair needs an RF or an RCA connector, but it goes to like a cable TV, this is why, because it would go to an antenna block, which is this. This would connect to 2 screws that look like this sitting on the back of the television. And then what would happen is you would plug that RCA cable from this, or your Atari or whatever else, or your Commodore, into this. And so that's where your RCA jack, that's where this, what we now know as RCA composite and component, plugged into. You just do that from here to here, and this will go to your TV. There are also converters that have this that go to a screw jack, like what you find on a cable box, and this plugs into that. My cable is a Bodge cable. It's one of these that's been soldered together onto the other end is a cable, coax cable. And that's how that was working, which is why it's such a crappy connection. But anyway, it came with the original bubble wrap. Smells like an old couch. And I'll go ahead and put that back. But I have one of those if I... Oop, wrong way. Apparently. I have one of those if I ever need it. And it even came with... This is really cool. This is a Timex labeled. Actual Timex label says right there. Well, does it say Taiwan? Never mind. It says Taiwan, not Timex. I saw the T and I thought, oh, Timex. But this is a Taiwanese... plug, and what this is for is this: you plug into the side here, the ear and the mic, and then you plug this other side into the ear and the mic piece of your tape player, and that's how you got programs into your Sinclair. So it has one of those. Now this one, as I said, the problem with this one is, again, we had someone who was a maker and it has no screws in it. I wasn't going to use it for a parts system if I didn't have to, because if it were me and I had to buy a second of a something, but I needed to keep the first one for a parts computer or a parts system, I would keep the old one in the new one's box, right? That's what I'd do. So the fact that somebody did that suggests, oh, this one has all 4 feet. Somebody did that suggests to me that somebody was fiddling with these and broke them. P503256, P200151. Wonder if this is an earlier model. Same FCC number, B limits, no user serviceable parts inside. That's what you think, Buster. Okay, well, You know what? I have the option. I'm gonna do this, and this is gonna be like one of the stupidest things I have ever done. I'm gonna plug this little guy in without servicing it at all, with the, you know, the top loose and everything. I'm gonna plug it in and see if the smelly little guy boots up or smokes out. So this time I'm going to actually show you the computer, and so you can see the smoke, because we already know what the screen should look like. Let's see what the smoke should look like. Please don't explode. Alright, I got nothing to get. Oh, okay, if I lift it up a tiny bit, I have a black screen. Okay, that sounds to me... Well, it's a black screen, but I do see... Now, you can't see what I'm looking at, but in the bottom left-hand corner, I see a slightly darker black square, which suggests that it's trying to output something, but it can't. So, we do have two Sinclair 1000s. I've never worked on one of these computers before. Ever. Yeah, it looks like he taped them together. Like, he pulled out all the screws and then lost them. Like, here, let me pull out all the screws and I'll just lose them. He lost all the screws to this thing. And so he just taped it together. Like, I know these computers are supposed to be like the thing you took home with you and hope for the best, I suppose. I don't know. I honestly don't. I can't complain. What do I know? When this thing came out, I just came out, actually. Actually, wait, this was released in February of '81. So this came out just before I did, you know. And there she be. There's the inside of a... there's an RF shield, which I think is spray painted on. By the way, I did move the camera back and adjust the focus so it's back where it's supposed to be, so I can move things better. You're still going to get a focus problem, but not nearly as bad as we did before. Here's channel 3-4 selector. How do I make you come out of screw? Are these what are holding it in? That looks like what's holding it in. So I'm just going to stick with this for now because I have it in hand. Oh, that's loose. I don't know if that's a thing. You know, I don't know if being loose is a thing that this thing has to worry about. I'm going to do that. What do I do with my other one? All right, here we go. Handy screw caddy. That's what we're going to use that for. You know, I was supposed to just fix this thing and move on. Well, not even fix it. I was supposed to just clean the outside, turn it on, and it was supposed to work. That's how this works, right? You just turn it on and it works. See, I don't even know what the inside of one of these little guys is supposed to look like. So is it supposed to look like this? Oh, holy hell. Should I be concerned that that is completely just gone? Wait. That is supposed to be plugged into that. I know that for a fact simply because I'm looking at two components. This says KB2, and I'm certain somewhere around here it probably says KB1, or this says KB2 and you assume that's KB1. This is 4 pins, that's 5 pins? Okay, whatever. But this is multi-pin. That... Okay, that's concerning and a little disconcerting. I have no idea how to fix that. I mean, yeah, no, I have no idea how to fix that. Someone sliced this ribbon cable literally in two. And the other half is missing. I'm assuming they tried to pull the board out and the ribbon cable was there and they just said, hey, let's cut it. Yeah, that's not even slightly connected. Maybe it's just really short and it slipped out, but no, it's not really short and it slipped out. It is gone. So now that I see that, I wonder if that's what happened to the other one. Alright, found my screwdriver. My favorite screwdriver. Love this screwdriver. Gonna move everything aside-ish, and we're gonna go back to the one that powers on a little better. I'm gonna take a quick look. Now, I just put this foot back on here like a genius. And I'm gonna set it on top of that, because, again, like a genius. Are you kidding me? Oh, there's no screw in there anymore. Well, not that that matters. I can't get... I went and grabbed my screwdriver because I'm like, I want a better screwdriver. My screwdriver is too fat. Actually, is this one too fat? Oh no, this one's small. Okay, I have to use this one. See, I told you I love this tool because my screwdriver, the one I love, is too fat. But isn't that always the way? You know, you love something long enough, eventually it just gets fat. Ooh, a green board. That's differenty. Okay. So hello. I know there was another screw there. Wait, we unscrewed. Yeah, we unscrewed. No, it was 4 screws because there's 3 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and one of these screws is not like the other. Okay. So this is a new and differenty board. This is our broken. Now look at this as well. This one is dusty. This one is not. This one is gross inside. This one is not. I think someone tried to be Mr. Fix. Yeah, someone tried to be Mr. Fix-It with this computer and fried it. Well, they cut the damn ribbon cable. But this one, I think they left this. Okay, well, they might not have left this one closed because there's a screw missing here. There's only 1 screw here. Someone tried to bodge. So yeah, someone plugged. Yeah, this one's only held in with literally 1 screw. Yeah, this is that's a motherboard screw. That's why it's the wrong screw. This screw was used in the base to hold the base together, but not inside the computer to hold the computer together. Ah, bloody. Okay. And I just well, there's that. So that might. Oh dear Lord. Yeah, oh, that's torn. Okay. Old and torn. Alright, and this is... I don't think there's going to be any way for me to get this out without tearing it the rest of the way. Nope. It had to be torn. It's old ribbon. Old ribbon. Yeah, both of these are broken ribbon. So that's why the membrane keyboard isn't working on this one, is the ribbon's just... This one tore literally because the board was loose. It was just wobbly. Oh, yeah, he stripped out the screw, the base there. I don't know. Between the 2 of these, I might no. Son of a... Okay, let me show you something. I'm gonna set this here. By the way, I'm not wearing a wrist strap. Static electricity. I don't care. So if we take a look here really quick, this is the base of. Oh, that's the top part of this keyboard. Okay, I'm confused. But this, yeah. So this base is working-ish because we have all of the standoffs are fine. This base, one of the standoffs is cracked, which is also why he didn't screw it in properly. I don't think I can get the membrane out. I'd love to use like the good case, and then get rid of the bad case, because if you look at these standoffs down here, these 3 plastic standoffs, you can't see what I'm pointing at. If you take a look at these 3 plastic standoffs here, here, and here, and we go, well, sorry, here, here, and here, the 3 black ones. We take a look at this board. They've been shattered. That's where the screws go in. These have literally been stripped and shattered. There's a little piece of plastic just falling off of that one. So maybe I didn't get quite as good a deal as I thought I did out of this. But if I can... pull very gently using these tweezers. There's enough ribbon cable left here where I might be able to utilize it if I don't damage it doing that. Where I might be able to utilize it. There we go. Okay. Come on out. Come on. I believe in you. Okay, that's... I could just use my fingers. Put the right amount of tension on it. There we go. Okay, so there's a bit of ribbon that was stuck in there. Now this one has the same problem. It is very much stuck in there, but it's too deep for me to use that. So I have a tiny pair of tweezers here. Hope you guys can see kind of what I'm doing. Yeah, you can see it well enough. I'm not going to bother zooming in. Downside is compared to this board, Like this board, this is flush and solid. This board, it's not only backwards, this is not flush nor solid, although it is soldered in there. So it's not loose, it's just not... frick tackles. Okay, that just tore a huge chunk out of that into my grabby points. I gotta be super careful. Because if I lose grabby points, then there's no way to pull the rest. Or just desolder that one and solder it on here and say Foxtrot. Do not have to do that. I mean, both of these are repairable. If they work. I mean, they do work-ish. Well, okay. This one probably works better than that one. Okay, I'm usually not this nervous. I like how these say Sinclair ZX81, 1983 ISS3, which I guess is the release number of them. But yeah, these are ZX81 boards. They're just Timex branded. And TSC models. Oh, whoa, oh, okay, okay, I like that. That's a good thing that I'm feeling there. There we go, come on little buddy, come on little buddy. Ah, there it is, okay, cool. See, look at that, extracted it 100%. Whew, I have no idea what I'm doing, and yet I am getting it done. Now I have to decide how I'm going to handle this. This keyboard, I'm trying to keep these things separate so that I know which parts go to what and which one's the one I want to try to fix and which one's the one I don't care about. This here is dead. I don't know how to remove this membrane unless it's like plastic and you can just it's sandwiched and probably glued. So what I would need to do to fix this, in my considered opinion, not that anyone considers my opinion, guys, it's 2 ribbon cables. But they're just ribbon cables, right? I have spare ribbon cable. Could I'd have to tape it or solder it. I don't think either of those ideas are smart. Because you can't solder this. You can't. They're printed ribbon cables. You can't solder this. But I could tape it. So if I wanted to tape ribbon cables to this and then insert them very gently into here, that would be a small fix. And I mean the micro tiny fix. Not a good fix at all, but a small fix. Something that says, yay, it's fixed. Speaking of which, I'm gonna inside this a little bit. Sorry, I'm spitballing here because I didn't have a plan. You know, you have a plan, right? You're like, I have a plan. I have a way to fix this. I know what I'm doing. I've done this 40 times before. I've read a manual. I've gone online. I've talked to 40 people. I have a whole group of friends. I'm on 3 Facebook listings, and for the love of God, I was there when it was made. You know, you have that. I don't have that. I came into this thinking, I'm just going to clean the outside, plug it in, it's going to work. It's happened every other time I bought a computer. I got lucky. What do you expect? This time, though, no. This time, well, my fingerprints are all over the inside of this now. Let's get rid of that so the feds don't find me. This time, though, I know what the problem is. I know what a potential solution is. I have a functioning keyboard. So let's start with that. Let's start with a functioning keyboard. So this guy right here. Now we had the worst. Now that's the other thing. I had the worst experience with this one. Plugging it in, I got no signal. Although I can probably see why. This DC volt. Well, it's pretty solid, but it's soldered in wrong. But there's a chance that this RF shield is trash. This RF module is trash. Does look like someone punched a hole in it. Do I want to test how brittle these are? That's the question I'm asking myself right now. I don't want to test how brittle these are, because if I test them every time I break a piece off, they become less functional. They seem pretty legit. They're very brittle though. They are super, like, I don't know if you can hear that, but they are mega brittle. Like this one right here, you definitely can't see it from your distance, but this right here, it's cracked already, like right there. It's already cracked part way through the connector. I'd have to trim that off, and even trimming it, I don't know if trimming it will even work, because if I trim it and then it cracks again, It's just, I'm losing more and more of my connection. So this is for me hoping I don't have to try to go back. I'm going to cut as close to the crack as I can. It's a little off. This one is jagged as all hell, but it's not broken. So we're going to try for that. So it has to go this way. I don't know how to do it. I guess you do it like this. I've never done this before. Please forgive. Gonna use the tweezers. I don't know why, and I don't know how much of this you guys are gonna be able to see because I'm about to like cover the whole thing, but that's how this goes in because this shield is in the way. All right, so with a little bit of fiddling, I was able to get it working. I did have to go online and take a look at other people trying to put this thing back together, and there's a commonality with all videos and tutorials. They skip over how to put the ribbon cable back in every time. Every time. They'll be like, hey, you want to see how to do a composite mod? I actually had to look up other mods to try to figure out if someone accidentally took a shot of them putting the ribbon cable back in. No, they skip it every time. They skip taking it out, they skip putting it back. Now, one guy did pull his out and the ribbon cable was still attached properly. So I think that when the person took this one apart, they damaged or broke something on both ribbon cables. This one they probably cut to get it out, not realizing what they did. And so then they bought another one, which they didn't cut to get it out, but they did something to get it out. So what I have done, and I'm just going to lift it and kind of show the end part of it here. You can kind of see that little white bit there that's crooked, and you can't see anything there, and I'm still not certain it's connected. But basically what I did is I took, and this is a bit of the ribbon I had to cut off in the middle that was pushing it in the wrong direction. So as you can see, it's kind of a cellophane-y stuff, and there's a bend in it. And that's literally what I did, is I took the end of the cable where I had trimmed it, and I bent it. And what I originally tried to do is I originally tried to bend it to where it's folded, and so it would have more pressure, so when it got pushed inside, it would hold. Except all that did was I pushed it inside, and then it pushed itself back out, because it was just trying to open back up. So I bent the cables in such a way to where they sit, if the top of the keyboard is this way, or the top of the board is this way, they sit like this, and then they hook into the receptacle, and that's how they sit, is they're just hooked in there. And so there's pressure pushing up, and that's holding them in place, but they want to fly backwards because of that same curled pressure, and so they're pulling all the time. And so it may just come undone at some point. I don't know. I don't know if it was connected before I opened the thing up, or if it was loose like I have it before I opened it up. But either way, I still have ribbon. I didn't trim too much. I trimmed a couple of extra little tiny pieces off here, and I did a couple of little clean slices. But no part of this, even the parts that were inside, show any indication that it was ever folded, or it had a second piece, or it had a locking mechanism. And I literally saw I had to use a pair of tweezers to pull one of these out, so it was supposed to fit in there tight, and it wasn't. So I don't know if I did something, or if somebody else did something, or if something happened, but basically the person who owned this before me trashed both ribbon cables. Worst case scenario, I mean, this one boots, you know, worst case scenario, it needs a modified keyboard. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Best case scenario, I fixed it. So I know I can't show it on camera for multiple reasons. Mainly the main reason being that you can't show that you did something to something when everything's in the way. So I did fix it. It is fixed. Now I'm going to screw the bottom plate back on. Let's find out if I fixed my membrane problem. I have no idea. Now, I'm not going to bother pointing a camera at this just yet, because I'd have to move my camera, which is a pain in my butt. But I am going to plug it in and hope that it doesn't go bzzz. Don't go bzzz. Gnomes. No keyboard input either. So it's not making a good connection. Yeah, there's nothing holding the keyboard literally on there at all. So the board works. The keyboard does not work. As for this little guy, he's well, he's not turned on, he's not plugged in. I'm gonna make a mess here if I'm not careful. We have this option to do that still has power in it. Okay, yeah, this one's working a little better. The RF modulator's fried on it, but you know what I can do with this little guy? I can mod the crap out of this little guy. That's what I can do. I can modify this case. I can modify this RF connector to be a composite connector. This is going to be my mod board. I am going to mod this little guy until he is a damn fine ZX81. Yeah, I have a plan for this little dude, so I'm happy about that. The other one I want to keep original. For that to happen, I need to figure out a way to do a membrane replacement keyboard. But on the plus side, we have a plan and I have a project. That project is to get this Timex Sinclair into functional modded order, meaning new keyboard, new way to output video, which is going to be a composite because there's composite mods out there. And then this little guy, all I need to do, he works, all I need to do is get this keyboard to talk to that motherboard via a ribbon cable that isn't made out of polystyrene garbage or whatever this is. I don't even know what this is. It's a plastic of some kind, but it's brittle and it's old and it's crap and yeah, so great projects to work on. I'm living it. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and stop this video here. So once again, I would like to thank you all very much for joining me for Kilobyte Short on this episode of Short Circuits. And I will hopefully see you guys next video when I have something else to show you or something constructive or an idea of what to do with these. So I'll see you guys next video.